ahead. Treat yourself.
Do you like what you see? My eyes are over here. Easy does it. Slide right into that DM. Just swallow a bunch of pills and just lose ourselves in tangled sheets and bodies. That's right, we'll ignore each other for 4 or 5 days at work, and then we'll go right back at it.
Oh, yes. I think I'm hit. Did they get my face? Oh. No, I'm just keep going. I'm sorry.
I was an anal birth. Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, look at this little guy. You having a Shirley Temple? It's a little Cabbage Patch Kid.
He was laying them buttery nuts all up in my mama, and I shot out there and I said, "What's up, Doc?"
Johnny Storm, I love you.
Fetch the car. Want to hit Shake Shack. Diarrhea comforts me. Okay.
That's my friend Peter. Show him, Sugar Bear.
Oh.
You like that?
Nice, right?
We doing this?
Let's go. I want you to come at me hot, and I want you to come at me angry.
Cassandra Nova, a megalomaniacal. Gargling juggernauts, 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 juggernauts. Wow. And you can quote me.
Okay.
Stepping back into Elektra has been a total trip. I played Elektra 21 years ago, so I had not picked up a sai other than like to show off for my kids' friends. Like I used to tell my kids' friends, I'm a ninja, and I would pull them out and they'd be like, ugh. But I hadn't done anything like that in years and years and years. It's so fun.
Wesley is Blade to me and ushered in a whole era and took risks back then that hadn't really been done. This is a character that Wesley, in large part, created.
This version of my Blade, I thought I'd make him a little more comfortable with himself. You know, in the first ones, he was a little more angry and he had chips on his shoulders and he had a lot of issues. Figured time has passed. He's had plenty of therapy. So now...
Woo. It's great.
They call me the Gambit.
You sure you didn't just really want them to, but it never quite worked out?
I've been dancing around Gambit for almost close to like 20 years now. I had done truly anything to actually walk onto screen as Gambit just even one time.
You want me to look intense, or you want me to look like really chill like that every time?
You tell me, man. I am trusting your instincts.
Even my childhood, I was playing Gambit. My dad's from New Orleans, and I was the kid that was grabbing like my dad's duster, my dad's raincoat. I had a pack of cards, and I was always chucking them at my friends and like doing the whole thing.
Talk, or I'm gonna start dealing.
I just felt like we just played the highest stakes, like make-believe game that you could possibly play.
I didn't want to stop yesterday. Everybody was like tired. I was like, do we have to go home? Do I have to take it off?
In the first script that we wrote, Hugh sent us a 10-minute voice memo, but the idea that he was the worst Wolverine for us, because you not only have the worst Wolverine, but you have a Wolverine that is finally, after 24 years, wearing the yellow suit.
When I got in the yellow and blue, I knew immediately it would work. It felt amazing. I felt more grounded, deeper, connected than I ever had before in the 24 years. I was astonished at how we never tried it, never looked at it. I feel more than ever before, me, Hugh Jackman, is lost, gone. It's just Wolverine.
In the script, we find a few Wolverine variants. Well, let's get the John Byrne brown and tan costume. Yeah. Let's get Wolverine on the cross. Let's get Calverine. Let's get like
Old Man Logan.
Logan.
We hit some like real deep cut comic fans to start digging out these Logan variants.
That's a recipe for humor.
Oh my God, your hair.
Oh. It's certainly a recipe for conflict, which is also funny. In the case of our movie, it's a recipe for violence.
I've always said if he doesn't want to put the claws back on again, I will. Is that what you really want? Because he's an actor that is like a Swiss Army knife and can kind of do anything at any moment and pivot in strange and wonderful ways, he kind of gave the license for Sean and I to really explore a slightly different version of Wolverine.
One of the highlight scenes of Hands Through Face would be a scene with Cassandra's hands going through Mr. Paradox's face. You literally see every pore on his face. It's fantastic effects, very, very cringeworthy. In our development process, we played with different skin thicknesses, and I liked it thinner because we actually want to start seeing the details of her like knuckles in his skin. There's definitely a skull in those heads, and she definitely works around it. And then when the fingers go over the eyeballs pop out, and it's great. So for Hands Through Face, Sean and the VFX team started out with comic book reference. There's some key comic book frames that we really tried to match, where it goes straight up through here, and her fingers like to come out the nostrils and the eyeballs and the ears. Whenever we are replacing limbs or replacing faces, we'll often put tracking markers on. Emma's hand has to go somewhere, so we would just put it off to the side or this side or out of frame. Then we would do clean plates on the day to clean up the arm or the hand. And then in post, we would do a fully digital hand and arm, and then into a mostly digital Matthew McFadden face. Then we go into detailed animation, and that would be getting the details of the fingers, sliding over the skull just right, getting it over the forehead and dipping into the eye socket, that kind of thing. And then we go into a final detailed sculpting and creature pass, and that's where you really would figure out, like if she was wearing a ring, you would see the ring in there or the knuckle.
Ring, please.
Our heroes go to Cassandra's lair twice. The first time they go, that's when Cassandra meets them all and when she puts her hands through Deadpool's face. The second time they go, we call it the assault, and it's the big battle near the end of the movie. That's when Wolvie gets his hands through face routine.
What's going on in here?
The assault is a really great example of just a huge collaboration between stunts, camera department, visual effects, props, everything. For a superhero movie, we tried to keep the whole movie fairly grounded. Whenever we can do live action stunts, we do them always as much as we can. Emma's performance really nailed Cassandra. They just absolutely crushed it. It's really, really one of the best villains I've seen in a long time. Basically a complex psychopath, but a villain that we all have grown to love, to hate.
Boys are so silly.
Who would ever have thought in this conversation of music that Madonna, Like a Prayer, would be in one of the biggest wonder action sequences in Deadpool history?
But that's what Deadpool's so good at.
It's unbelievable.
It's like the fourth wall breaks, and the music they set up in the original totally unearthed its own tone.
Ryan had this idea of Like a Prayer in his mind for, I think, like 6 years. And so we always knew from the earliest meetings that this wonder, it was going to be Like a Prayer by Madonna, and now it is.
That's one of my favorite moments in the movie because it's just a great planned payoff, and it pays off even more if you watch the movie a second time.
One guy starts, and then a couple more join, and then another one, and I think...
It was so much pre-planning and choreography and timing, and it's been a long journey, but it was a very grounded kind of love letter to Deadpool.
Finding that balance, I think Sean has done brilliantly. Working with so many different stunt performers, doing choreography, having the camera there, and trying to do a shot that I'd never done before. And it was a challenge that I loved. And Ryan and Sean, who conceived of that idea, was just genius. When fans see that scene, I know it's going to be one they're going to rewind over and over and over again.
From the outside?
Yeah, from George. So when you finish George.
Yeah, boom, yeah.
The wonder, as we call it, is something that's been discussed from very, very early on. And when we first talked about it, Ryan said to me, I have been dreaming about this shot for, I think he said 7 or 9 years. I saw the storyboards, and the storyboards were incredible. The difficulty of putting all of those pieces of the pies together are so massive that it never really happens.
This was something we worked on for a year, figuring out how the hell do we do that? And this was literally over 100 people coming together to figure out this very basic idea and how do we deliver on the promise of that idea, and hopefully we pulled it off.
It's all done in what we call a motion control shot. It's all one continuous action.
I'm here operating the Milo motion control rig. Basically, it's a machine that holds a camera and it's accurate down to microns. And the reason for this is so that we can get the camera move in and it's exactly the same time and time again. And we can repeat those passes.
The Oneer broke down in our minds in 4 sections. We only had a 3-hour window a day where the light would be in the correct position to make it work. And we would just get section 1 one day, and then once we'd got that section, we'd spend the rest of the day rehearsing for the next day, and then it just went on like that.
Ray Chan is our production designer who created a world unlike anything I've ever seen for Deadpool and Wolverine.
It's hard enough to make a movie on this scale and to figure out how to build in real life things that only existed in our imagination. Time and again, Ray would find a way to do that and to do it with tenacity and diligence and just this tireless joy.
Every time we've played back this movie, we have to marvel at what Ray built. But Ray is a filmmaker, Ray is a storyteller. What he gave us in those environments was the thing that I think is the DNA of the movie.
It really can't be overstated, the amazing amount of work that Ray did for us at Marvel, and his passion and his artistry really did create the MCU, as fans around the world know it to be today. And every single of the 10 projects we've worked on together, every single one of those sets, I would walk around with Ray as he would talk about the work that had gone into it and the work that they still had to do. And Ray had a lot of work left to do, and it is a great sadness to all of us that we won't be able to see it, but a great joy that we'll get to see everything that he did for us over these many years.
I would say the happiest moment for myself is when I see a design executed, fully lit, dressed, with the actors in costume and the director and the DP making a film. That's my happiest moment.
Chris and I sort of have a history of trading cameos in movies.
You're not gonna love what happens next.
Oh my God. 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 He's gonna say it. He's gonna say it. He's gonna say it.
what?
Avengers.
Flame on!
I'm sorry. What?
And I wrote this tag for Chris. Initially, I just wrote it to trick and manipulate Chris into saying yes. It's like, but there's also this scene that, and then it became something that was like really funny, actually. And I was like, actually, this has to be in the movie. And Chris only agreed to do the movie as long as that tag stays in the movie, which I don't blame him at all.
I won't be happy until I've urinated on her freshly barbecued corpse and husk fucked the charred remains.
Are we able to pull it off?
Yeah,
Can we take a
yeah.
look?
We can. So it's just 2 little pin, like fidlocks that pull that off like that.
Oh,
so you gotta.
Amazing! That is so cool. Can I? Oh, I'm so happy right now. This is amazing. I really didn't think that's how it attached.
Yeah, and then it just so that he can then between takes take it on and off.
That's really critical.
Yeah.